All right, ready to dive deep. Today, it's Seth Godin, the marketing maverick himself.
Oh, yeah. Always relevant.
You know, we all want to create products that really stand out,
Yeah.
right? And we've got some audio from Purple Cow and Free Prize Inside. Think we can unearth some serious wisdom.
Absolutely. Years later, his work is still so spot on.
It's like he predicted the marketing craziness we see every day. Imagine you're a company, you've got this massive ad campaign, $6 million, right?
Mhm.
And your friend, like your ideal customer, they have no clue it even exists.
That's the story he tells, right?
Yeah. And it shows exactly why the old school marketing playbook just doesn't cut it anymore.
It's a wake-up call for sure. Consumers, they are bombarded with information, like constantly.
They've become pros at just tuning it all out.
Exactly. To break through all that, you got to have something remarkable, something that just makes people go, whoa, what is that?
That's where the Purple Cow comes in, right?
That's it.
That product or service that's so unique, so compelling, it practically markets itself.
It's like he says, remarkable is the new baseline. Not just good, not a little better, but undeniably remarkable.
Gotta cut through all that noise.
Exactly. In a world that's just overflowing with options, that's how you capture attention.
So the big question is, how do we create this Purple Cow? Godin says it's all about unearthing your product's free prize.
Not a literal freebie, right?
Right, not like a giveaway.
It's that element that elevates your product beyond just like basic utility, the intangible value, the emotional connection, the story that makes people not only pay more, but tell their friends about it.
Okay, I'm with you. But can you give me a real-world example? What does a free prize actually look like?
Think of a super high-end watch, like a $10,000 Frank Mueller.
Oh, yeah, I see where you're going with this.
It's not just about telling time, right?
That's a whole statement.
It's a statement piece, a conversation starter, a symbol of like craftsmanship and exclusivity. That's the free prize. The
Yeah.
feeling, the story, the experience. It goes way beyond just the basic function.
So it's less about features and benefits and more about tapping into like a deeper need or a desire.
Exactly. Godin calls his approach to finding this free prize edgecraft, basically identifying and amplifying the unique edges of your product or service. He actually gives a pretty big list of potential edges.
We can't get to them all today.
No, way too many. But let's hit on a few that might really resonate.
Awesome. Let's dive in.
One that really stands out is the network effect, creating products that encourage sharing and connection.
Built-in word of mouth, right?
Yes. Think about those Japanese photo sticker booths. They were designed to be traded among friends. That social element baked right in.
That's so smart. It's almost like built-in virality.
Right. Another great edge is public usage. Making something that's not just functional, but also makes a statement, an outward symbol, Like, think about how Mini Coopers became more than just cars.
Yeah, they became a lifestyle.
Yes, style statements. Markers of a certain, personality or tribe.
You're not just buying the product, you're buying into the whole vibe.
Exactly. Now, here's one that might throw you. Do less. Sometimes stripping away features can actually create a more remarkable experience.
Wait, doing less? How does that work?
Godin uses the example of Betty Crocker cake mix. At first, you had to add eggs, created that sense of participation for the baker.
Right, like you're really baking.
Later, they took that step away. More convenient? Sure. But maybe a little less special, Sometimes that extra effort, that sense of involvement, that can be the free prize.
It's about finding that balance between convenience and, engagement.
Yes. And this leads to another interesting edge. Treat people unequally. Now, before you think we're advocating for unfair treatment, hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's not about that. It's about recognizing that not all customers are the same. Some are more valuable, more loyal, and they deserve to be treated accordingly. Think about the American Express Black Card. It's incredibly exclusive. Perks and privileges reserved for just a select few, creates a powerful sense of aspiration and status.
It makes you feel special.
Yes. So instead of trying to be everything to everyone, you focus on creating an exceptional experience for your most valuable customers.
I like that.
And it can apply in surprising ways. Remember Godin's idea about reversing supermarket checkout lines?
Oh, yeah.
The biggest spenders, they get the shortest wait times.
Now that would be amazing.
It would make you feel valued. Turns a totally mundane experience into something remarkable just by shifting the focus. Now, let's explore an edge that's super relevant in our tech-obsessed world. Technology, right? It could be a powerful edge in itself. especially if you use it in unexpected ways. Like the Xbox, when it first came out, it was practically a supercomputer disguised as a gaming console.
Wow, yeah.
That sheer processing power, it was a huge selling point.
So it's not just about having the latest tech, it's about using it in creative ways.
Right. Leveraging technology to really enhance the experience, not just adding bells and whistles for no reason.
Godin talks about this crib with a built-in digital scale, like a tech-savvy nursery.
It solves a real problem for parents. But it's also, like, surprisingly innovative.
Right.
But sometimes technology can also be about stripping things away. Think about digital audiobooks.
Yeah.
No more bulky CDs or cassettes.
Just pure listening.
Instant access to a whole world of stories.
It all seems a bit overwhelming, though, all these edges. How do you even choose the right one for your product?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not about finding the perfect edge. It's about finding the one that resonates with your audience and aligns with your brand. Godin has this example of a hardware store competing with all these cheaper imports, right?
Kind of market.
So instead of trying to win on price, he suggests like taking a cue from t-shirt companies.
Interesting.
Create these bigger, bolder push pins with funny sayings on them, slogans, you know.
So you transform a commodity into something people talk about.
Exactly. You're not just selling push pins, you're selling personality. A little humor.
It's like that lawn care company Godin talks about, the one that uses satellite photos and tax records to make those instant quotes.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one. Took a process that used to take weeks and made it happen in minutes.
And then they toss frisbees with the quotes onto the neighbor's lawn.
Genius, right. It's unexpected, memorable, and just creates a sense of delight. That's the power of finding your edge.
I'm getting it. But let's talk real-world companies. Who's actually doing this purple cow thing successfully?
Oh, Godin has tons of examples from all sorts of industries. It's like a masterclass in remarkable marketing.
Yeah.
One that sticks with me, there's this hotel in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it has this massive front door,
Like, how massive are we talking?
25 feet high.
Whoa, that's a statement.
Right, nobody's picking a hotel based on the front door,
True.
but it instantly sets this place apart. It becomes a talking point, a memorable experience.
So it's about creating that sense of awe, something beyond the ordinary.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be grand. Think about those quirky ringtones that were popular a while back. People were switching phones just to have Richard Nixon announce their calls.
Oh man, I wanted a Jimi Hendrix ringtone so bad. It was such a fun way to personalize your phone.
That's a free prize. It's not about the ringtones function. It's the feeling, the connection.
It's about the whole experience, not just the product.
Now, speaking of experiences, let's talk ballparks. Would you ever expect to find freshly made sushi at a baseball game?
Wait, what? Where is this magical place?
It's at Pac-Bell Park in San Francisco. They totally upped their game by offering something unexpected, something high quality.
They took a typical ballpark food and turned it into a purple cow. But what about those business-to-business companies? Do these principles still work for them?
Absolutely. Godin's point is that even those purchasing managers at big corporations, they're still consumers at heart. They'll be swayed by a remarkable product, just like anyone else. Take the Boston Consulting Group, for example, their growth share matrix.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Relatively simple concept, but they packaged it so it was both accessible and memorable.
So they turned their expertise into a purple cow.
They became thought leaders in their field because they presented their ideas in a compelling way. It's not always about big ideas either. It can be the small details. Godin mentions Novell. Back when computer networks were brand new, they offered certifications to consultants.
So customers knew they were dealing with experts.
Exactly, gave them that sense of trust and expertise. And speaking of standing out, there's Tloyd Clothiers, that high-end clothing store.
I think I've heard of them. They're all about that personal touch, right?
That's them. Respect, caring, connection, community. It's a reminder that the human touch still matters, especially as things get more and more digital.
It's easy to forget about that in the rush for automation and efficiency.
And Godin really stresses this throughout his work. He even talks about his own struggles trying to convince his publisher to package his book in a cereal box.
Hold on, he put his book in a cereal box.
He did. And it was brilliant, unexpected, memorable, sparked all sorts of conversations. But his publisher was totally against it at first.
It's funny how something as simple as packaging can be such a hurdle, but it shows you have to be persistent, have the courage to stand up for your ideas.
Totally. In the end, that cereal box packaging became a huge reason the book was so successful. It was a purple cow that helped spread his ideas all over.
Sometimes the best marketing is the product itself.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up this section, I want to touch on something Godin says about how industries evolve, specifically the music industry. He says that just like there are tons of poets today who don't expect to get rich, there will be lots of musicians who can create and share their music without necessarily expecting to make a fortune from it.
So it's not all about record deals and hitting the charts anymore.
It's recognizing that there are different ways to create and share your art. Financial success isn't the only measure of value.
That shift is happening all over the creative world.
Exactly. And Godin's insights are super relevant for anyone trying to navigate that. He also talks about the dot-com boom and bust. Those companies didn't fail because of the internet, he argues.
Because they didn't adapt.
They relied on traditional advertising instead of making remarkable products.
Marketing can only take you so far. You need a solid product or service.
Exactly. We're all human. We respond to things that are different and memorable.
He also talks about the need for a culture shift in companies, away from avoiding risk and toward a culture that's all about trying new things, rewarding effort, even if it doesn't work out right away.
That's so important. If you're scared to fail, you'll never create anything truly innovative.
And Godin's not afraid to challenge the status quo. He even criticizes Six Sigma, saying it focuses on perfecting what already exists, not on creating something new.
It makes you think, right? It highlights the importance of looking ahead, embracing innovation.
Godin's a true advocate for creating remarkable things. His ideas are thought-provoking and inspiring.
What's great is that it's not just theory. He gives so many practical examples and frameworks you can use in your own business or creative projects.
It's like a call to action, to break free from the ordinary and create something exceptional.
It resonates with anyone who's ever felt stuck or wanted to make a real difference.
So, as we move into the final part of this deep dive, let's think about what we've learned and how we can use these ideas in our own lives and work. As we wrap up this deep dive into Seth Godin's world, one thing that really sticks with me is his focus on conversations.
Oh, for sure. It's like he saw the rise of social media and online reviews coming.
He says ideas that spread win. And creating a purple cow, it's all about giving people something worth talking about.
Totally. Think about that cereal box example.
Yeah.
Godin knew that weird packaging would make people stop and notice. And then, bam, they started talking about his book.
It's like baking the marketing into the product itself.
Exactly. That's where the free prize comes in. Right. It's not just about the product's features. It's about the emotion, the story, the experience that people share.
It's creating that buzz, making people want to tell their friends, hey, check this out.
Like that sushi at the ballpark. It's unexpected, delightful, and people just naturally want to share it.
So as we're thinking about using Godin's ideas, what's the one key takeaway you'd leave our listeners with?
I think the biggest thing is that creating a purple cow isn't about following some formula. It's a whole mindset, a way of thinking that pushes you to challenge conventions, to push boundaries.
Be bold, take risks, be different.
Yeah. And remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's being remarkable.
Godin says safe is risky, remarkable is safe. It's a powerful reminder that in a world with so many choices, the things that stand out are the ones that grab attention.
Finding your free prize, it's a journey. You got to experiment, observe, understand your audience.
So to our listeners, as you go out there with these ideas, remember, don't be afraid to challenge assumptions, push boundaries, and dare to be remarkable.
The rewards of creating a purple cow are huge. You'll make something people love and create a story worth sharing.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Seth Godin. We hope you found it as inspiring as we did.
Until next time, keep those creative juices flowing. And remember, dare to be a purple cow.